What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be playing a little bit of Battlefront if I can get it going here. Internet connection's been kind of bad today, so I don't know exactly how well this is going to work. I guess it's the bad part about living out in the boonies. But, well, semi-boonies. I don't know that you could really call it full-blown. But we're kind of away from everything. So we had to change our internet service provider primarily because we had Suddenlink before, and Suddenlink kind of just dicked us over and shut off at random times. And it'd be the same time every day, and then they said it was like our fault. So, which is the reason we had to switch. Unfortunately, we don't have that many choices around here, so get a very slow connection. At least it's not 56K, because that sucks. But I figured I'd get a little bit of gameplay in and do a little bit of Battlefront, because I haven't been doing too much of it. I just got the pistol from the HUD contract, and I got to level up to get the cycler rifle or whatever, so I can do the other one. And I accidentally screwed up and didn't check what gun I was bringing, so I'm gonna have to switch that out. But I also wanted to do a vlog for the art channel, and unfortunately I really just don't feel like just sitting down and hooking up the webcam and putting my ugly mug on stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is just talk to you about what I wanted to talk about on that, because I know some of the people that are checking that channel will be checking this one too. But I've been getting asked quite a bit how to exactly get into the whole convention scene as far as being a vendor, if you're going to be an artist or something. And the fact is, I've only been doing it for about a year, so it's not like I'm an expert on anything, but there are a few things you need to know, and I'll probably be giving you, I'll stick with just 5 primary tips that you probably should be doing. Like not getting killed. Like that. That shouldn't happen to you at a convention. If it does, then I don't know what kind of convention you're going to. But first things first, you need to get, if I were you, hell, I was trying to shoot my own guy. If I were you, I'd probably get one of those card readers. The reason being, the card readers in a convention are good to have, like Square or the PayPal reader, because if people's walking around, they run out of cash pretty quick. So if they've got a card, they can go on and pay with that, and then you don't have to worry about, you know, them saying, well, I don't have money, and if they want the product bad enough, then they don't, you know, there's nothing to it. They don't have to go to an ATM or anything. They can just pay with that. So get a card reader first of all. I usually use the PayPal one. That's the one I use for the simple fact that it is cheaper. They usually take a little bit of money out. If I'm selling a $10 print, they take out about 25 cents. So that one's been the one that I like to use personally. And then on top of that, I would also, for tip number 2, I would look at what exactly you're trying to sell and what kind of conventions are available to you. If you're wanting to sell, you got to really know your product. If you want to be selling like horror stuff like I sell, stuff like a comic convention is probably not going to be the best for you. So you're going to want to take that into account, because if you don't, you could be losing money by going to the convention. Which leads to tip number 3. If you're going to, for your first year, I would just do all conventions so you know exactly what's going on in your area, because while I said that if you're doing horror, you might not be making that much at a comic convention, At the same time, it depends on the area as well. Here in West Virginia, like comic book fans want comic book stuff. There's not too much of a varied group. A lot of the times you'll get the same people that go to all these conventions, but you know, as far as wanting my stuff, a lot of them don't want it in the comic book crowd. So again, you know, for the first year, go around and see how everything works out, then make a decision on it, because what's going to end up happening is once you have that idea of how every convention that you go to is different from one another and how it caters to your style and what you do and what you're selling, then you'll be able to make an educated decision for the next year. And that's currently what I'm doing right now. And for the fourth tip, I would say this: do not get discouraged if... Holy shit, he just keeps running from me. There we go. Well, I got blown up. Don't get discouraged if you don't make a sale. A lot of people get discouraged from what I've seen, or they've told me that like they don't know how they would react to you know, somebody down talking their work or not being able to make a sale or whatever, and stuff like that's just going to happen. You have to be prepared for that. And then lastly, save your money, because leading up to the event, you're going to want to try to overstock. You want to take more product than what you think you're going to need. Because if you don't, you're gonna, you know, you could be stuck in a situation where you could be making sales and you just won't be. ShockerCon this year, it's a 3-day convention. Unfortunately, with it being on the weekend, I can't just go get my prints where I normally would for the price that I typically would or whatever. So what ends up happening is, unfortunately, you run out. People are looking for that print if they've seen it the day before or whatever, and the best you can do is just tell them like you can order it. And you know, with me, I'll do delivery if you're local. So you know, for me, it's not a big deal to do that. But again, it's just, you know, you want to make sure that you have enough to facilitate, especially if it's a 3-day event. You definitely want to overstock. A 1-day event's a different story. 3-day events, big time. Other like small tips: if you're going at it alone, I would advise you to bring a lunch, obviously, because if you don't, some of these conventions, they won't let you stand up and walk off from the table, because unfortunately a lot of people will, if they got their stuff taken or whatever, they will try to hold the facility or the convention, the person running it, they'll try to hold them liable, when in fact they shouldn't have been going anywhere in the first place. So the best thing I can tell you is to, if you're going alone, you know, you probably should for sure pack a lunch. And if you have to go to the bathroom or something, I would see if I could get the staff just to watch. I don't know how some staff are. Some staff may be busier than others. It just depends on the convention, I think. But I would definitely check to see if you can get people to help out in that regard, because you're going to want to, if you gotta go to the bathroom, you're going to want to go. I mean, there's no sitting around. But other than that, I think that's pretty much all you really need to know. Also, booth neighbors, in my opinion, are important. Hopefully you get good ones. Some people don't, unfortunately. And that sucks. What the fuck happened there? So with that said, I guess that's really all you really need to know. Just kind of jump into it. I really didn't know what I was doing whenever I started, so it's just best to kind of get into it. Have fun with it. A lot of people don't think it's fun being a vendor, and I disagree with that. I think it's a lot of fun being a vendor. I prefer being a vendor than I do actually just going to the event, because when I'm going to the event, I'm just walking around. Being a vendor, on the other hand, it's a whole other story. Especially if you got a party table like mine. Sometimes if you get a good group of people that just go, you can get a bunch of people hanging out at your table and keep you company. And it's just, other than buying stuff, which I really don't buy too much stuff, you know, I enjoy it. Some people wouldn't, I guess, because some people want to be out there, but I prefer actually working the vendor spot instead of, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna stop trying to suck so bad at this game, which I'm really not trying. And I guess that's pretty much it. I ordered Evil Within, so we'll see about doing a gameplay video of that. It should be fun. I've heard a lot of good things, but I just never got to play it. So I'll catch you guys later.